Good day, good people. This is the Holla the Truth podcast, brought to you by yours truly, Holla the Truth. Giving you the truth for the future, the present, and the past. But I gotta ask, can you handle it? What the fuck is up? Back at it again. Well, I decided to go solo again today. I just been in a weird space lately, which might have something to do with my father's anniversary of his murder was yesterday, I think. My energy's just been a little off. I haven't been this in private. I haven't been the person that is, my happy-go-lucky self. I'm usually always smiling. I mean, I do it in public, wear the whole mask, because I don't like showing people that I'm hurting. But when I'm really hurting, people can tell. And I think I'm in a place where people can't tell. And I don't know what it is right now. I haven't got to talk to my therapist about it specifically because it just I just started making sense of it and recognizing the signs of what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't know where I'm at right now. Floating around. I'm kind of on autopilot. And I noticed like bowling, that's one of my therapeutic exercises. I've been real out there with it. Like I've been bowling my ass off, just, I guess, trying to run away from whatever is bothering me internally that I still haven't been able to figure out. But like I said, it might be, it's around the time 30 years ago my father was murdered, if you didn't know. They still haven't found the killer. Last year my cousin, she sent me a video of my father. I've never seen him like interact. I was 4 when he was murdered. I've never seen him interact, or I've never heard his voice, like, maybe when I was 4, but you don't remember that. And so I guess that day I was like real excited, and I was, running to people and look, a video of my dad. Whether they cared or not, it was something important to me and something I was very enthusiastic about because I've never seen him interact. And in one of the videos, he did some shit that I do, which was real crazy because when all my like close friends seen it, they were like, wow, that's you in a nutshell. Like, you really are your dad's child. And it was just crazy to kind of see that. And then the video, some other videos, was also him and my mom. This was before me, so they were like freshman, sophomore, high school. And just to see that interaction was even crazy to me. Like, my mom's shy, kind of timid self in that video. And it was just funny seeing my mom and my parents as teenagers, and exciting at the same time because I've never, like I said, got to see that. And it just started leading me down a different path. I kind of like started questioning shit. Like, well, I wonder what our last words to each other were. And sorry, getting there. But yeah, I just kind of wonder what our last words to each other were. And I'll never know. So I was in a place where I kind of tried to tell myself maybe they were I love you, I don't know if that was a thing. I don't know if we did that often. And I notice I don't do that with my son often. I mean, I try to tell him every time we talk, but I don't think I've found it necessary to talk to him every day about it or tell him that every day or even talk to him every day. Like, I go days without talking to my son. And I asked some of my partners with kids, like, do you guys reach out to your kid, like the ones that don't, that kind of split custody? Like, do you reach out to your kids every day? Do you find it a necessity to reach out every day? And it seemed like more of the men with daughters felt like it was more important to reach out every day, which is understandable. They need that nurturing, they need that father's love that a lot of women don't have. And I just kind of been in a place. My mind's been everywhere with this. Seeing that video, like I just recently looked back at it because I wanted to post on his anniversary the other day. And I got emotional even posting because it's crazy. After 30 years, I'm still emotional about this shit. Like I haven't let it go. I haven't been able to. My mind's not at ease with it. I don't know why. And I think it's still because of this struggle of trying to be, a man still. Like I'm still I'm still on this fucking journey, and not saying that it's a destination, but it's hard trying to be in a place where everybody thinks you're supposed to be, or be who people think you're supposed to be. Like it's a constant battle with yourself. It's a tug of war of, am I supposed to be how people think or perceive me to be? Am I where I want to be with this? Do I even want to be this person? Why do I want to be this person? Again, back with my whys, like why do you want to be this person? It's just been a battle. So I felt like I needed to be here. I was kind of yearning for somebody to talk to, somebody to kind of reach out. I was looking for people to reach out unknowingly, which is crazy because I just got a text message from somebody and they just asked me, am I okay? So it's like perfect timing. Yeah, that's crazy. But it shows you like who's in your corner. And like that's no discredit to I have a bunch of friends. It's no discredit to anybody. And I also wear that mask that nobody can see. My people know when I'm hurting. And I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily hurting right now, but I'm just in a weird space. I don't know where I'm at. I seen it on a podcast once of a guy talking about he felt like he never hit a rock bottom because like at least that's solid ground. And I feel like I'm in that place. Like I'm not at a rock bottom. I'm nowhere close to a rock bottom right now. But just mentally, I'm like torn. I don't know if I'm going left or right. And I'm just kind of stuck here. And even like my post, those unspoken like expectations for people. I kind of made my post about my father's anniversary hoping that specific people would reach out. My unspoken expectations for people. I was looking for people to reach out and kind of like check on me, but specific people. I got a bunch of DMs of people consoling, but I was looking for some people to read that, see that, and know that, yeah, something not right or he's not right. And people that are with me on a daily basis, they always see my smile, happy-go-lucky self. So sometimes it may slip, but it may slip between the cracks and they may not catch it. Yeah, I just been battling right now. I'm sorry, I'm kind of rambling. I don't really have no clear direction for this one. Trying to keep myself from crying, really. This fucking dog barking. But yeah, these expectations for people, we gotta stop holding people to unspoken expectations, relationship wise, friendship wise, what have you. Like we need to, I guess, reach out when it's time to reach out. Shout out to Tyrone. He reached out and let me know, nigga, I see it and this is forever. So I appreciate you for that. Not to discredit anybody else. Tyrone just came to mind when I thought about that. But I think I've been seeking attention from the exterior because I haven't been giving it to myself. I haven't even congratulated myself on anything lately. In the past couple of weeks, when the podcast dropped, I was congratulating myself. Like, all right, you finally did it. You rolling. And I just kind of been unmotivated about it. I haven't, scheduled any interviews with people. I just been kind of sitting here lollygagging. So I was like, well, I need to do one for myself, at least to keep in motion, to let me know that I'm still doing this and this is not just another one of my things that I pick up and put down. So I'm rolling. But like I said, I'm still in this fucking unmotivated state. I'm still just trying to figure things out. Like, I'm confused, but I've had some great conversations. I had a great conversation the other day at the bowling alley with a couple friends of mine who I hope to get on, but people get shy. And it's two people that I really don't even, well, one of them I don't know that well, but the way she was articulating herself and her views on life and things in life were monumental to me in that moment. Without a name, she just kind of talked about how when she started her therapy, she reached back to a childhood memory of something that stuck with her at this big old age. We're all in our mid 30s, and she still holds on to this moment in childhood of a teacher doing something. I'm not going to give the whole details just in case I can get her on. But she was stuck there and she had never let it go. She was still trying to figure out how to let it go or why it bothered her so much and what she was holding on to with it. And, we just had a very interesting talk. We talked about marriage. We talked about just life in general, and one of the other black male friends was asking about therapy and asking, does it help? And yeah, if you do the work, it's going to help. Like I told him my first 3 therapy sessions, I cried. And I don't know where it came from, but I just knew I needed to let some shit out that I wasn't letting out. Even though I have these conversations, like I told my therapist, like I'll have these conversations with anybody. But I guess I don't know what I'll be looking for in those conversations. And releasing it to the therapist was kind of like, I'm getting help. I'm seeking help. Like now I'm on a journey to try to figure out all of these things and fix, what's broken, if there's anything broken. And I've just been in a battle with myself. Just even like my female friends, like I haven't been in a mode to be the entertainer. I'm the entertainer. I just kind of hold a bunch of frivolous conversations. I talk to people on and off. I'm like a ghost type of person. Like I'll ghost you for weeks to months and then just come back and act like nothing happened, I guess, or check on you. But I do have relationships like that with people that we don't have to talk often, and we can come back to where we picked off. We can pick it up where we left off. So I appreciate those friends. I appreciate my close friends. I appreciate anybody that feel like they're a friend to me. And I appreciate anybody that feels like I've been, something intricate in their life. But I hope nobody's holding me to unspoken expectations. And I'm going to try to work on that with myself so I don't fall into these places where I feel like I need somebody and nobody shows. Me and my close family, there's something missing there. I'm sorry if, this wasn't the platform to hear this, but we're going to get into this. I've kind of lost some connection with my household family for whatever reasons. I'll have to talk to them about it before I actually go come here with it just to know where they're at with it. But I know my reasons for why I'm as distant as I am. And I've talked to my therapist about it, and she kind of wants me to be the bigger person in the situation and kind of reach out and get to a understanding or middle ground or get what I feel out. And I'm tired of being the bigger person. Like in all these situations, I'm the one that has to be the bigger person. I'm tired of it. I don't I don't have the energy in me to keep being the bigger person. I want to be the little person. I want people to reach out and try to figure some shit out. Just in general. Like I'm tired of it. I tried. I've always done it. I've always been the person to reach out and try to rekindle because I don't like having torn friendships. Like I rarely lose friends. I don't I get distance from people, but it's always something there. And like I don't burn bridges. There's outside of women and romantic whatevers, there's very few bridges burned on this end. Even people that should have burned bridges with me, like I still find a way to put the pieces back together and reconnect the bridge so we can cross paths. Which I don't know if it's helping or hurting at this point. I just, I don't like the idea of losing people because we all need people. Like Janet Jackson said, nobody but nobody can make it out here alone. And, I don't want to lose people. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to be hurt anymore. Even romantically, like, those are some of my first phrases. Like, I don't want to hurt nobody and I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to play games. If relationship or future, whatever is not on the table, then let's figure it out from there. Maybe we just want to have sex. Maybe we just want to be cool. But let's figure it out pretty soon. Because after a while, you kind of know. Just like the last little whatever I had, it's been going on for years. And it just never seemed to, I guess, evolve. Maybe the way she wanted it to evolve. And I've been trying to figure that out as well. Like I don't know what I want with that situation. And just never been able to bring it to myself. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've told her, but just not in a very appeasing way. I may have said it out of spite or like frustration or being in one of these weird spaces that I'm in right now, which this is kind of helping. Still haven't let a tear fall. I was getting there. I did cry earlier. I was watching The Hate You Give. Sorry, that's a little off topic from where I was. But that movie was triggering, just being a black man and, seeing the things that this black girl was going through and being in those situations where if I reach for a brush, it might get crazy. And just being a black male in general and seeing this shit, how we see this shit, and looking at each other, how we look at each other. And I was talking to somebody earlier about the movie and about how, I had this martyr mentality for a long time of just, when it's time for war, call me. Like, I don't want to protest. If this is what we doing, then let's go to war. And it got to a point where that fizzled out because, for lack of better words, like, niggas don't seem worth it no more. Like, I love black people, and it just don't seem worth it to fight for this shit no more because we've given up on ourselves. It's a lot of us that don't want to give up, but it's like you see this shit. We see this shit. We see what's going on. We don't want to fucking grow. We don't want to evolve. We still want to be niggas. And I hate to be the nigga to say it, but we still love nigga culture. Like my best man, shout out to Dominic. He says some pretty profound shit. But this specifically, he said, think about where we are as a culture that Ja Morant is willing to risk fucking wealth, for to portray that he's this nigga pretty much. Like he wants to he's willing to give up generational wealth to be a nigga, to show you he's hard or that he has a gun or whatever in the fuck. Like it just doesn't make sense in how unprogressive we are as a culture. Like we still making everybody rich. As you see, if you haven't noticed, everything that I have on is somebody's brand. Black owned and someone around me. Because that's what I'm promoting. I want us to be self-sufficient, but it's just hard to even get in that space with niggas because niggas still do nigga shit, which is fucked up. Like even Dr. Umar talked about how, the niggas wouldn't fix his school or didn't do it in time or whatever in the fuck. And, the white folks just got it done. So again, back to this thing, we need everybody. Like everybody needs everybody. And we're stuck in a mentality where people don't feel like that. People feel like they can do this shit on their own or with their close friends or whatever. No, we need everybody. Everybody needs everybody. Everybody needs something, We'll figure it out, I guess, one day, but I'm no longer the nigga to be the martyr for it. Like, I'm no longer willing to die for the progression anymore. Like, I don't want to be the Martin Luther King, Malcolm X nigga. Just because of where we are now. And it's just like the same, like the, black men going to the army and shit and fighting for a country where they come back and get called nigga. Or nigger in that sense. Hope I don't get censored for that. But yeah, it's just like the same thing. Like you go fight for a country where you come back and get disrespected. That's the same shit. Like I was willing to go fight for people to come back and be disrespected or even killed by these people. Just so many incidents that I can recall where if I wasn't who I was, shit could have went left. I could have been the nigga to kill somebody, or they could have been the nigga to kill me, or whatever. And, we're back in the same fucking cycle every time. Sorry, that sounds like a ramble, but like I said, I'm in a weird space, so I'm just trying to get out what I can while I can. My therapy session last Wednesday, we talked about boundaries. One of the bigger boundaries I wanted to set was like sexual boundaries. With my M&Ms, if you've seen the first episode, masturbation and marijuana. Been pretty good on marijuana. Haven't indulged at all. Haven't thought about it, smell it, and don't even think about it. Don't think about hitting it or don't think about smoking even in stressful situations. Like I pretty much have that under control. Masturbating, I failed. I can't say I failed, but I didn't reach my goal. I had some moments where I realized it was something there bothering me and I just couldn't fight the feeling. It wasn't even like I was horny. I was just in a mindset of I needed something, I guess, in that moment, and I couldn't get it. I didn't necessarily want to have sex. And I don't know what I get from it. I didn't know where I was at with it. Sorry for those of you that didn't like when I spoke that, but that's where I'm at. This is my platform to tell the truth. This is Holla the Truth podcast. So I have to live my truth if I want other people to feel comfortable coming on here living their truths. I know some people were opposed to that idea of me speaking what I need to speak to who I need to speak it to. But hopefully I can help somebody. Maybe somebody else has the same problem and they want to dig deeper and figure it out. Or maybe they didn't even know they needed to dig deeper and figure it out. So that's what the goal was with that. It wasn't just to share the information. It was to help someone. Tap back into that idea. But yeah, we talked about boundaries, and I need to start setting boundaries. I've been in a place where I let people break my boundaries. Like I say, every time I say later topic, I'm going to tap in with it. So, my situation with one of my exes, I let her break boundaries that I shouldn't have. But being where I'm at now, I know those boundaries and limitations. In the same sense, I want to allow people to be who they are. So, with my ex, she had an ex-boyfriend or whatever that I guess was dear to her heart. And he was locked up, and I allowed her to stay in communication with him just because. And, when he got out, I seen what it was. But in my heart of hearts, I always felt like that was his girl. I really felt like I was temporary. So I don't know why I was so damaged after the situation unfolded, how it unfolded, or why I was so hurt. But I knew that was his woman until he got out and she kind of seen him for who he really was. But at that moment, when she cheated, I guess I took it too light. Like, I've been called on a friend basis, I've been called a sucker for staying and sleeping in the same bed and house that she had sex with this nigga in. And I always felt like because of who I was, when it happened to me, I was going to take it to the chin. And people said, you took that too light. Like, that's the ultimate disrespect. In the house, in the bed is crazy. With your ex, like, that's a big thing. And I took it light. It hurt like a motherfucker. I didn't really have any reaction in the beginning. I needed a little bit of liquid courage to see where I was at with it. And I just boo-hooed with her all night. Just fucking cried like a little baby all night because I was fucked up. I didn't understand it, And what's crazy is I had this thought in my head that day to text her I loved her. And I didn't act on it. So even outside of a relationship matter, just if you think about that, if you think about somebody, if you think, you need to tell somebody you love them, you probably should do it because that might be your last chance, That might save them from something, that might save you from something. That might be the last words you get to say to people. So, if you have those thoughts, act on them. We're not here forever. That's the only thing we're really guaranteed is to die, which is fucked up in reality to think about. But that's what we're guaranteed. We're guaranteed to die. That's what we're here for. To live, learn, make some shit happen, and get up out of here. And back to that situation, like I said, my boundaries were crossed. I didn't know those were my boundaries as well. I didn't know how bad it would feel to be cheated on. I didn't know what my reaction would be to it. Even though I've been the cheater and whatever, but I didn't know what it felt like. And I understood it in that moment. And I've been traumatized and avoiding relationships because of it. Even the last person, I guess I tried to want to figure it out with, the red flags were there. And I couldn't bring it to myself to do it. Sorry, I don't know where I'm at. Anyways, I think I pretty much talked about the shit that I wanted to talk about. But replacing habits was another thing that I wanted to mention. So with my M&M situation, I noticed since I haven't been smoking, not like I'm on some alcoholic shit or getting drunk. Like, I don't really do the get drunk shit. Like, oh, I'm drinking to get drunk. No, I have been having a little bit more frequent with the alcohol, which is terrible because alcoholism is a thing in my family on both sides, I believe. Kinda. My mom and my dad were not drinkers or smokers, which is crazy. So I guess that's why I kind of have control over those things, because it's not immediate and it's nothing that I'm specific. Like I'm not running from anything. I still haven't figured out what it is with the weed that satisfies, just like with the masturbation. I still haven't figured out what it is that I get from it. And I want to, I want to dig deeper. I'm still trying to figure it out. We got all year. Well, time permitted. God's will, if you may have that. We got some time to figure it out. And that's just what I'm after, to figure some things out. I need to get it together. I don't know what I need to get together at this point, but I'm trying to get to a place where I know I'm solid. Like, I know that I'm here, present. I know I'm showing up. And like my therapist said, like, once the podcast gets rolling and say you're doing these numbers and getting these sponsorships and money and all of this, when do you check in with yourself? Like, when do you make that time to check in with yourself? Because we forget to do that. Things may be up and things may be down, and we forget to check in with ourselves because we need us more than anybody else needs us. And we forget that. Me specifically, I forget that a lot, that I need me to show up just as much as I show up for everybody else. I just talked to my best man about this. I wake up every day doing something for somebody else, whether it's taking the kids to school or whatever. Like, when I wake up, my first thing that I do is for someone else. Like, sometimes I might not even brush my teeth in that moment. I might just jump out and go get the kids, take them to school, come back and whatever. But my first whatever of the days, mostly, are always geared towards someone else. Even just responding to text messages or missed calls. Like, that's my first introduction to the day, is to do something for somebody else. And I have to find a balance between that, at least a balance. I don't want to stop. Of course, I'm always going to help people. I have a savior's complex. So I'm always going to be there for people regardless. But at a certain point, I need to wake up and do something for me and create a healthy balance with that, which I'm still, I have a little list of things that I said I wanted to do every day. And that list, that was last year, but it lasted maybe a week or so, that I would wake up and do the shit that I have on that list to do, which is for myself. I always wake up looking for the text message to respond to somebody, or maybe somebody needs something and I'm there for it. Like, even the other day, I stayed up for about 30 to 40 something hours because I needed to do something for somebody. So I didn't sleep that day. And that goes back to boundaries. I need to start creating healthy boundaries, whether people like it or not. And like I said, I'm not into burning bridges, but if people can't understand that or understand me in those moments, then, maybe it's okay to let people go. And I have a hard time with that. Like, even my ex, I still don't think I let it go. I'm not as triggered as I used to be, and it's not like a I want her back thing, but there's something I'm not letting go, something that I'm still holding on to, and I don't know why. Yeah, like, I'm still, maybe it was the way it ended, maybe it was the situation, I don't know. But to sum it back up, I'm in a weird space. Again, it might be something to do with the anniversary of my father. And I've been seeking attention, and my unspoken expectations that I'm holding on people has caused a internal battle with myself, or just life in general, which has led me to be unmotivated with what I'm doing and losing focus and direction. And it's because I need to start setting boundaries and holding people accountable, holding myself accountable for things. Working through therapy, doing the work. It's a journey, man. We got to figure it out. Even if we don't figure it out, the journey to figuring it out is figuring it out. It's what I've noticed. And I need to stop replacing these habits, Picking up one habit or dropping a habit and picking up another habit is still creating a habit. Still on the negative side of things, I guess. Unless it's a healthy habit. But, like I said, I'm here for it. This is the journey, guys. Thank you for rocking with me. I appreciate y'all letting me be vulnerable. And I appreciate you for tuning in. Shout out to the feedback from the last podcast that I've dropped. Feedback from the introduction. And it's crazy because, the one person that I was looking for a thank you and congratulations or whatever from didn't give it to me. And I felt like that was something I was chasing all my life. Was that thank you and congratulations from that one person, which I can talk about later after I have that conversation with that person about how they've made me feel over the years to make me detach a little bit, I guess. But like I said, we gonna figure this shit out. Moral of the story is the journey is the destination. I gotta get back into my discipline because the best version of you is on the other side of discipline. And with that being said, this is the Holla the Truth podcast, giving you the truth for the future, the present, and the past. But I gotta ask, can you handle it?